We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be, and of course, however you may be listening. Despite all that has transpired over the last first 2 weeks of which are the same thing for the Iowa Hawkeyes, I will be carrying on per usual because if I do this when things are good for the Iowa Hawkeyes, I also have to do it when things are going poorly. So we will be previewing the Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Nevada Wolfpack in week 3. And perhaps this is exactly what the doctor has ordered for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and more specifically, the offense. Maybe it will provide a spark for the Hawkeye offense and therefore some relief for the Hawkeye fan base as well. So we're going to be checking out the Iowa Hawkeye stats, a few of the key players for Nevada, their record so far, some of their key players, maybe some PFF grades, so on and so forth. But before we get into any of that, I want to ask you guys to consider hitting that subscribe button, support your boy, and this channel really is growing. I say that every week. I am eternally grateful to all of you who have gotten on this journey with me. It's been a blast. This is so fun for me by and large, and I love doing it. At the very least, like, comment, share. If you want to support the channel, you guys donate through the YouTube channel as well as hitting the PayPal and Cash App link in the description box. And without further ado, let's get into this. It's pretty much safe to say, folks, that things could not have gone worse. Well, some people are saying that it could actually have gone even worse than it did for the Iowa Hawkeye offense. But regardless of how you look at it, whether it could have been worse or not, things are not looking good. This Iowa Hawkeye offense has absolutely sputtered after, by and large, there was a lot of confidence for this Hawkeye team to get together. You had Brian Ferentz move to the offensive or to the quarterback position coach spot. He basically effectively got a promotion. And we were told that the Iowa Hawkeye offense was going to be simplified, a lot more quick read and a quicker offense. That way, Spencer Petrus could get confidence, or whoever the starting quarterback could be could get some confidence, so on and so forth. I'm going to keep the PFF grade in the background here so you guys can check it out. Jack Campbell, one of the bright spots for the Iowa Hawkeyes with a grade of 81.9. Phenomenal. But there was one thing that I noticed after this game, actually, when I did my morning after video, where I had noticed it before, and I wish I had said something sooner, but it is what it is. The sad reality is that the Iowa Hawkeye coaching staff decided that they were going to roll with Spencer Petrus after the Nebraska game. They basically have gone with Spencer Petrus ever since that. You guys could basically, after Nebraska Kentucky game, they decided to go with Spencer Petrus, and I don't think they ever really had true open eyes. Now, ultimately, only they know if they did because they were the ones that were there. I read you guys a comment that Kirk Ferentz stated, or Brian Ferentz, it's either KF or Brian, where they basically said, and this has been an excuse that they have used for months now when it comes to having Spencer be the starting quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes. But the quote basically read that they are exposed to the day in, day out action of the quarterback position. They see all the players practice and what they do over several months. And so, in other words, they have a viewpoint that we do not. Now, my point, and I posted this on Facebook, was fairly simple. Yes, they have that, but us fans, we're not jaded by the same information that the Iowa coaching staff is. We make judgments solely based off of the production on the field. So in that respect, even though it may come off as slightly more, intense or, maybe not cruel, but severe, I guess, we are not jaded. Our opinion is, as I said, solely based off of the results that we see on the field. And in that respect, I really don't think fans, when we say that it's time to take a look, and it has been time to take a look at the quarterback position, that we are being biased. I don't think that we are being biased. Now, is it all on Spencer? No. I'd be lying if I really truly thought that it was all on Spencer Petrus. Here's Logan Jones, grade 55.9 here. It starts with Brian Ferentz. He is the quarterback coach. He is the offensive coordinator. He is the one who prepares this meal. And we are the ones who are basically tasting this meal. And it has been lacking so far. There's basically three excuses here. You have injuries for the Iowa Hawkeyes with Keegan Johnson, Nico Reganey, Gavin Williams was out. He's been limited as well. There's definitely been a few injuries. Deontay Vines. There's definitely been a few injuries for the Iowa Hawkeyes. That's number one. But the other two are the offense and under Brian Ferentz and his philosophy, his scheme, and Spencer Petrus. Now, the reality is, folks, the run game has not been much better. And if the Iowa Hawkeye run game was slightly better, this Iowa Hawkeye offense would be slightly better. So sadly, this offense is searching for answers everywhere. It's not just the quarterback. It's not just the offensive coordinator / quarterback coach. It is everywhere. So it is very hard for me to be optimistic moving forward. But I have no choice as an Iowa Hawkeye fan. I have to search for the silver lining here. Here is the ESPN predictor. Iowa, according to the ESPN Power Index, has a 90% chance of beating the Nevada Wolfpack. That looks good there. N. Cox is their top quarterback with 372 yards, 2 touchdowns. Spencer Petrus is actually doing worse than this Nevada quarterback with less yards at 201 yards and 2 INTs. Spencer Petrus has yet to throw a touchdown this season. Sad, but true. Rushing yards, Taua has 246 yards and 3 tubs. LaShawn Williams is the leading running back for the Iowa Hawkeyes with 108 yards on 38 carries, it looks like. Receiving, Jay Bell is the top receiver for Nevada, 14 receptions for 97 yards. And it has Arland Bruce as the top receiver, although I think it actually might be Sam Laporta at this point. Here's the spread. Iowa is 21.5-point favorites. I've seen 20 elsewhere. So I would say they're between 22-point favorites going into this game. Here are the stats, folks. Iowa is only averaging 7 points per game. Nevada is averaging more points than the Iowa Hawkeyes at 34. Do you guys remember when Iowa averaged 28 points per game, 27 points per game? Man, does that seem like a distant memory at this point. Points allowed. Nevada has a terrible defense, which hopefully all would think logically that would spell some success for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They are giving up 27 points per game, and the Iowa Hawkeyes are only giving up 6.5 points per game. This defense elite, which is why I'm telling you guys that at the end of the day, regardless of how bad this offense is, which it was bad last year too, the defense has shown that it can keep Iowa games regardless. And as long as you have a defense like that, and the bottom line is you will stay in games, you will have a chance to steal game at the end of the game, like Iowa did many times last year, and like they had a shot against Iowa State. So does that mean that they'll win 9 games that way? Probably not. But I can see Iowa winning 8 games as it stands, as it were, with an elite defense like that. Another problem that Iowa has, which I said in my morning after video, that they need to figure out quickly, especially for a team like Iowa, where so many games are decided by such few points, would be the kicking position. Aaron Blom absolutely shanked the final field goal at the end of the game. In fairness to him, this is his first real action, but we have seen that before with Caleb Shudak and guys like that who have come in with very little game action and hit the ground running, hitting bombs and game winners for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Total yards, Nevada is averaging 337.7 yards overall, passing 174, rushing 163. Iowa is averaging 100, and in the air, they're averaging 57.5 rushing yards allowed per game. Iowa is only allowing 135 yards through the air and 81 yards on the ground. That is incredible, guys. That really is. This defense is so loaded, which is why this is so difficult if you're an Iowa Hawkeye fan, because this defense, and if you happen to be a Nevada fan, which plenty of people around where I stay at are Nevada fans, UNR fans. By the way, if you guys don't know this, for myself, the first football game I ever went to was a UNR game, which was pretty cool. I'm not a UNR fan, but, I also don't hate to see them win either. But if you're a Nevada fan watching this, and if you're an Iowa fan as well. The bottom line is the thing that makes this so difficult is Iowa has such an elite, really good defense, and all that would be needed is an average offense, which currently we do not have. So if you're tuning in this week strongly, which I think a lot of Iowa fans will not be because sadly, they do not see the hope moving forward, you will see a lot of Iowa fans constantly complaining about the Iowa offense, and which it is duly noted and rightfully so. So regardless, that is what it is. Here's the last five for Nevada. They lost to Incarnate Ward. I'm not sure where that is. 55-41. So they can definitely put some points on the board. They beat Texas State 38-14. Let's see here. New Mexico State, they beat 23-12. So I believe they are 2-1 going into this game. Yep, they are 2-1. Iowa is 1-1. So there you guys have it. Those are the team stats there and the money betting line for this game. All right, guys, I'm going to run through this. Here are some of the PFF grades. Logan Jones has a grade of a 55.9. Listen, Tyler Linderbaum was a one of a kind. It is unfair to but to expect rather Logan Jones to be exactly like Tyler Linderbaum. That is just not going to happen, at least not right away. He is definitely experiencing some growing pains. So we'll see how much that improves. He is the 187th best center in the country. I showed you guys the linebackers here. Let's look at all of them. Logan Klemp has a grade of a 63. Seth Benson, 67. Justin Jacobs, 77. Jack Campbell is the 21st best linebacker in the country, according to PFF, with a grade of an 81.9. Absolutely incredible. Let's keep it rolling here. Let me take off the minimum snap count. Here are the tight end grades. Sam Laporta has a grade of a 61.9. He is the 124th best tight end in the country. Luke Lachey, still, I was really hoping that we were going to see an emergence from Luke Lachey, but we just haven't yet. So, and I was really hoping that could be the bright spot or the part that would help move this Iowa offense forward would be the tight ends. Sam Laporta played decently well against Iowa State, but he still has some improvement to make also. And I really did think that this was going to be, and it still might be, but going into the year, I expected this to be a position that not everybody on the outside expected to be really good, but I did. And so far, they have not lived up to my expectation at the very least. Let's keep this rolling. Here are the running backs. Not good. You guys can see the grades there. Wide receivers, let's take the minimum snap count off here. Brody Brecht apparently did see some snaps. As you guys can see here, Iowa has the 766th and 317th best wide receiver in the country. And the last position we'll do here is the quarterback. Spencer Petrus is considered the 251st best or worst, whichever you look at it, quarterback in the country, according to Pro Football Focus. He has a grade of a 38.5, and his passer rating is an abysmal 37.5. Folks, that is just not going to cut it, no matter how you slice it. It's just not good enough. It is absolutely not good enough. And, we will see how this progresses, obviously, but you're just not going to have the season that you want to have or you're expecting to have with a quarterback rating a Pro Football Focus quarterback rating of a 38.5. All right, guys, I want to show you guys one more position when it comes to the Pro Football Focus grades. Most places make you pay for this. So if you're considering helping the channel out, just know that your boy does this, even though, I think a lot of people have access to PFF, quite frankly. But like I said, most places make you pay for this. Let me take off the minimum snap count here. The three DBs are all in the top 100. Weirdly or oddly enough, Riley Moss is the lowest graded DB for the Iowa Hawkeyes. That is kind of surprising to me. Cooper DeJean at 57, and Terry Roberts at 22. So he is really doing well so far for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And Jermari Harris should be healthy soon enough. I think Terry Roberts has that position virtually locked down opposite of Riley Moss. Okay, guys, prediction time here. This is going to be a quick game preview. The bottom line is I really don't think it can get much worse offensively. A lot of people have commented to me that it can get worse. I really don't think it can, but you never know. And Iowa will have some guys coming back. I just feel like a broken record, and I don't know. It's the same, I don't want to be a guy who says the same thing each week, because I just out of sheer hope for this Iowa Hawkeye offense. I think the evidence would suggest that this Iowa Hawkeye offense is not going to be any better than it was this past week against Iowa State. But the optimist inside me says that some guys get healthy here. Maybe some competition, some true competition breeds some better results on the field when it comes to the offense. I really do think Iowa will take a more honest look at the quarterback position than what they have been willing to look at prior to this. So we'll see what happens at quarterback. I would say still expect Spencer Petrus to be the starting quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes with a shorter leash moving forward. Again, the optimist in me wants this Iowa Hawkeye offense to improve. The only silver lining that I see are two things. There's three things. One would be possibly a quarterback change. Two would be the quarterback position getting some weapons back in Nico Reganey and Keegan Johnson, which I do think is somewhat of a big deal for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and it has contributed to the lack of success for the Hawks. The third thing would be the run game. Perhaps Gavin Williams gets healthier. The offensive line continues to improve. They are young, and perhaps that helps move this Iowa Hawkeye offense forward. We'll see. But from what we've seen the past 2 weeks, that is not going to be the case. So, listen, ultimately, Iowa is the better team. I think that this game will be close or closer than it needs to be through 3 quarters. I think the Iowa Hawkeyes end up still winning this game by 10 to 15 points. I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes winning this game 25 to 15. I do think they end up winning by 10. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by 15, but it's still hard for me to even give that prediction considering how poor this Iowa Hawkeye offense is. I mean, it really is bad. I did not think it would be that hard to put 20 plus, at least 20 points on the board, but the Hawkeyes have shown that even that is difficult. So if that's the case, this game will be closer than it needs to be, and it'll be close all the way to the end of the game. So I would not be surprised if that happened either. As far as my message, but ultimately, again, my prediction is Hawkeyes win 25 to 15. My message to the Iowa Hawkeye fan base is as follows. Hang in there. We have seen this before. Iowa still does have an elite defense. I do understand why your hope, the flame of hope has diminished slightly, but we're fans, and a part of fandom is hanging in there even when the going gets tough and rough. So let's hang in there. I'm not saying that you can't have your opinions. You absolutely can, but let's hang in there, and just fingers crossed that it will get better. I can't make any guarantees, but you know what I'm saying. As I said, it can't get much worse, right? All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help your boy out. Like, comment, share. You know the drill. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow and facts are feelings because your feelings don't matter. Love you guys. Hang in there. Go Hawks.